think the day that I proposed to my wife will be burned in my brain forever. It was a cold day in February, and I had a fever, probably from being so nervous. And all day long, I had, a ring in my back pocket. And then finally, we were in a chapel. It was just us and the Lord. And I knelt down and I asked her to be my wife. And everything that you see in the movies and you expect in your head, when you're feeling romantic was not there. Like the windswept hair and the kiss. It was more. She started crying and then laughing and snot and hugging, and it was just it was different than what you expect, but it was awesome. And the reason that I asked her to be my wife that day was because I didn't want to love her in some ambiguous way. I wanted to be intimate with her. I wanted her to know that I was committed to her forever, and that I wanted to know that she was committed to me forever. And marriage is meant to be just a teeny preview of what God longs for us in the ways of communion. And ultimately, it's meant to preview the intimacy that awaits us in heaven with God. But the reality is that marriage it's difficult. Our marriages are imperfect. Even my marriage, I've been married for 18 years. I would definitely say in my life, the greatest gift that God gave me is my wife and that marriage. But it's hard, and our marriage is not perfect. And so what the world does is they look at these imperfect, broken marriages, and they say, that doesn't work. That's impossible. And so they throw it out. And today we see this, there's more people than ever that aren't getting married. People are getting married at a later time. Divorce rate is at an all-time high. People get prenuptial agreements knowing that this probably isn't going to last, so let's work out the details now while we're still friendly. And in spite of all this, Jesus in the gospel sets the bar what seems like impossibly high by saying marriage is meant for life. It's meant not to be broken. And though this might seem strange, this might seem too difficult for us to attain, ultimately it's what we want. It's what we desire. You see, marriage is meant to be this way. This is the way that it was designed to be. And Jesus in this teaching is showing us that it's possible. And it's possible only through him. Now, I know the flip side of that coin. I grew up in a divorced family. My family really imploded due to my parents' divorce. And I know how painful and how difficult that can be. And if that's you, I'm sorry that that's been your story. The Lord has two things that he wants you to know. One, that he weeps with you in your pain. In that broken marriage. And two, that his mercy is perfect. That his mercy doesn't just cover or gloss over the pain that's in our heart, but it transforms our heart to be perfect again. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, I thank you for your gift of marriage. I thank you for what that shows us about you and the intimacy that you long for with us. God, I pray for marriages. That you would give married couples the grace to love each other well, to endure each other's imperfections, and ultimately to point each other to you. I pray for people that have experienced divorce, God, that they would experience your healing touch, and that your mercy and your love would bring them into communion with you. Thank you that you long for us with great intimacy. Help us experience that more in our lives too. Amen.